Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the mind of Terry's moon. Flight, flight boss, the Archangel Uriel, and Dolo here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Now, I want you to know how to find yourself. Now, people be channeling Palladians, the Arcadians, the Reptilians, and all this, that, and the third, but people don't be naturally knowing what they are, and people be having natural access and natural energies to things and don't be knowing why. So let me make a few disclaimers right now. Now, off the bat, you need to understand that you're here as a travel. You know what I'm saying? It's like sources. The suns is like source, or planets is like sources. And stars is like sources. And you have main sources. And when they shoot out lights and UV rays, they get filtered through smaller sources, the littler sources, the other sources to reach your time and location into space. And then when you reach it, you have a choice of what source or what timeline of events that you want to travel to until you reach that source to see if it's that source that you actually want to benefit from and go in or not. Now it's like portals and holes and shit like that. So when you want to talk about where you're from, now if you want to really know you're a Palladian, or you want to really know if you're one of these type of beings and things of that nature, it's going to deal with the moon. Now the moon is dealing with your spirit and soul in a realm of reality type way. You got a lot of people talking about the sun, but the sun is just what you're consciously aware of. A lot of people are not even conscious of their spirit, so we have to kind of start looking at the sun a lot of times. Now, reason why the moon is more important because it correlates to who you are. It's the one that's asking the question. It's who you are. It's your emotional response. It motivates your sun. Now the sun is more like what you're consciously aware of, how you consciously see things. So we could say, yeah, it's your spirit, but it's the ability for your spirit to be seen. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all. So when you want to bring your spirit out, it takes energy. It takes idea. It takes imagination. It takes action. So that's when you're getting your spirit out. But no one can really see your spirit. So when we talk about the spirit and the soul, when we want to talk about who you are, when you want to talk about where you're actually from, we need to look at the moon, and we need to look at the Pacific moon degree. So the sign that your moon is in, I need everybody to go to constellationonwords.com. Constellationonwords.com. This telling you where all the fixed stars and all the degrees of where all the planets and the stars and constellations are actually are. You know what I'm saying? And the solar systems actually are. So, for an example, now, your moon, that's who you are. That was your travel into a realm of reality when you was a spirit. Now you need to understand this, that you're not of this body. You're just taking vessels. So this means you was many different shapes and forms. You took many different astrological charts. You took many different positions and locations in space as your travel as a spirit. And when you go into a realm of reality, it gets filtered out. Then you go into a vessel that best resonates your frequency vibration. Now when we talk about as far as knowing who you are, this is why all that's tied to the moon. So when we're looking at it like this, the moon is who you are. So the actual star system you're from, go to Constellation on Words, and they got them all down. If you're a serpent, this how you know if you're a Gentile. This how you know if you're a Palladian. This how you know if you are Hercules. This how you know if you are yeah. You want to talk about pseudo? We get all in it, but this is real shit. This how you know if you are actual from Ceres. This is how you know if you're from Orion. You know what I'm saying? But it's dealing with the moon because the moon is who you are. Because the moon only stays in 1 degree, not a long time at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the moon switch signs like what? I mean, switch a degree like every hour and a half or some shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of time to play around with that type of creation. Now, as the sun, whatever sign and degree the sun is in, is going to be what you're consciously aware of. So it's going to be like with the insight, the power you have, the kind of access you have, because the moon motivates the sun. So the sun is more tied to what we can see, what we're consciously aware of, but how you can utilize that action. You know what I'm saying? So wherever your sun sign is and whatever degree is in, that's like the power you have in your hands, and who you are is the one that's controlling that power, which is your moon. So, like I said, if you want to know if you're a Palladian or something like that, then look, if your moon sign lands on a degree that's close to the eye of the bull, which is the Taurus constellation, then you're actually a Palladian. You're actually part of that bloodline, or you're actually part of that timeline in some way, shape, or form. So a lot of times when you get on the internet and see people channeling Palladians, they channeling you, channeling your family. You know what I'm saying? Channeling your resource. You know what I'm saying? Some people are so foreign and way out here. Like I say, I'm a archangel, Uriel. Now my moon sign conjuncts the fixed star Antares. So you can go do all your astrology research on that and go do all your astronomy research on that. And then you're going to start to understand the position that I play. Now, if you take out all the pseudo and take out all the mysticism and all the scariness and spookiness out of it, then you will see where my ray of light that's in me expressing myself actually come from. You'll see how far is out. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting straight to astronomy and science, you'll see how far is out. You can see what kind of element it's carrying and how it's going to express itself. So when the elements gets filtered down into this dimension, now you know these are the elements I'm playing out. However they describe it in their science way. You know what I'm saying? And you see my location, you see my position, and you see how far out I am, and you see my control that I have. So this is the kind of, so now if you want to bring it to pseudo, this is the kind of conscious I have. So I have, and then you see all the stories under it. Uriel, I run to Tartarus. You know what I'm saying? The deepest depths of hell. The seven hells, I'm the gatekeeper. I'm the one with the flaming sword. You see what I'm saying? I'm the one with watching the Garden of Eden. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that was in the book of Enoch. I'm the one that tried to take the pages out and flip out. So that energy then played out so harshly, I had to come in human form. You know what I'm saying? And come to y'all face to face. A lot of y'all wouldn't even know it if somebody was in y'all. If even Jesus was in y'all face, y'all wouldn't know it. You know what I'm saying? But that's another video. But we're talking about right now as far as knowing who you are. Now the actual power I have, my sun sign is in 17 degrees Aries. So that falls on the degree of second notice in the Draco constellation. You know what I'm saying? So before I got filtered into just Aries, I'm backed and supported by I got the power and the energy of being consciously aware of the axis of the Draco constellation, which the Draco constellation is the head. It's in the head. It's like the body that surrounds this spirit that we in. It's like the brain. It's like the head of this being that we in. It's like the hair of it. That's the head constellation. You see what I'm saying? So when you're looking at the sun, if you was to look through the sun and go straight through the sun and keep going up until you reach the actual physicality of the being that we in, which is a snake-like being, it's a snake being, you will be in the Draco constellation. You will be in the hair, the face, the mouth, the eyes of that being. You see what I'm saying? And that's the Draco constellation. But within this whole solar system built this whole being. You see what I'm saying? And star systems, a cluster or a group of star systems create constellations. So now, so this is how you know you foreign. So if you look at your moon sign and look at the Pacific degree, and it takes you somewhere that's out of this solar system, that's how you know you foreign. You see what I'm saying? If you land on a degree that's, just say for example, you land on 3 degrees, not 3 degrees, but say you land on 7 degrees Pisces, and when you go look that up on constellations on words, there's no fixed star behind it. There's not conjuncted any fixed star. Then you didn't get filtered from nowhere else. You're from this being. You're from the being that we're in. You're from this solar system being. Now, if you land on 27 degrees Pisces, and then you go look on constellations on words, and then it say you from Andromeda or something like that, then that's where you're from. So you had to get filtered through Pisces to come here, but you're from Andromeda. Right? So now everybody thinking right now, like, okay, this is good things to talk about, because now I want to see if I'm foreign. I want to see if I'm foreign. Look, when you're foreign, you're alien. So you could quickly become alienated in this realm of reality. Now you got the idea of thinking that oh, I'm not from here, like that's a good thing. Now you have to understand the most successful people and the people who back stars and things of that nature, the people who's receiving the most benefits, are actually people who are from this solar system. We're not talking about race or anything before you even involved in that. We're talking about these are beings from this solar system. So their moon sign developed on a degree that wasn't foreign. So they're able to utilize things of the land that it's in a lot better than someone who's foreign. For an example, if you're not from this country, right? So if you went to another country that you're not from, you foreign. So it's a lot of things that you may have to do, a lot of things you may have to learn, a lot of things you may have to accommodate yourself in. So don't go thinking. So you can even take this to the Hebrew Israelites and the way they think about black people and race and things of that nature. They think they was enslaved and brought over to another land, and then they think that this is their land and things of that nature. When if you have to understand the energy. If you was vibrating on an energy where someone was taking you from land to land in the first place, then that lets you know it wasn't your land in the first place. And whoever had the ability or the access to be able to do that and was allowed to do that, obviously it was their land in the first place. That's just like, can nobody do nothing in your home that you don't allow them to do. So if you thinking from a slave mentality, you basically saying somebody came in your home, took you out of your home, and moved you in their home, and moved you in a basement or something like that, and made you do what they want you to do, and you ain't never and you left your home. You see what I'm saying? So it don't make sense to bring down a whole civilization with concepts and theologies of we got taken from somewhere and you got placed somewhere and got taken and this is your real land. Nah, you missing your whole way of thinking about it, and it's gonna fuck up oppressions and things of that nature. But if you want to know where you're actually from, a lot of y'all ain't from Earth in general to be even trying to claim a land. And this is why you keep getting oppressed in the first place and can't find a singular person. And you get confused every time y'all trying to find who was the first people or the first race or the first person. None of y'all was. You see what I'm saying? You missing the point. You missing the whole point. Now, if you really the center, if you want to go to the center of every location. If you in a globe like the world, like Earth or whatever like that, go to the center of the Earth. So whatever geographical location is in the center of the Earth is where everything spiraled out from. Now, where everything spiraled out from an idea, from a thought, a singular thought, not an overall thought. So whatever ideas and theologies came out of that location, whatever frequency vibrations came out of that location, that's how they was vibrating. That's not to say that it was right or wrong. It's just whatever they was into, that's how they was vibrating. So whatever, if you just living and experiencing whatever conclusions you come to, whether they're good or bad, that you can take from whatever happened at I think Ethiopia or whatever. I forgot what's in the center of the geographical location in this globe. But if you go start doing researches in science and start learning and then start vibrating with it and all these ways that it's going to make you feel and things of that nature and make you think, and the stories that's revolved around them was basically their way of understanding things. But that don't necessarily mean it was right or wrong. That's just where it started here. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you're here to recreate that always. You're here to recreate something new. The moment you get stagnated in some old stuff, that is not going to work. The moment you come here and create something new, it creates friction, and then that's what works. You see what I'm saying? I don't know why people don't understand that. But for the most part, if you want to know who you are, go to Constellation on Words and figure out your moon sign and your moon degree. And then the power that you have, because the moon always motivates your sun. So the power that you're gonna have and what you're consciously aware of is gonna be your sun. That's how your sun. That's how you carry out the duties and obligations. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, say your moon fall in a certain degree of the serpents, and your moon fall in a certain degree of the Hercules or the Palladian star system. That's who you are. Like all that channeling and claiming shit and shit like that, that's not what it is. I mean, you could be consciously aware to channel whatever, or claim you this angel, or claim you this God, or claim you could do that all you want. But I mean, who you genuinely are is the degree you came in with, and degree your moon sign is. So whatever degree your moon fall on, that's who you are. You could be a person who you think you a Gentile and you was a Palladian this whole time. So you basically just giving the Palladians all this Gentile energies and you not even knowing who you are. So you start thinking you could gain business off channeling. You start thinking you could gain money off shit like that, and start getting into your demon third dimensional flesh too much and shit like that, to the point that you go haywire and you just end up experiencing like everybody else, but you don't know shit. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, that's if you want to find who you are and where you're from, what actual star constellation you from. Go to Constellation on Words and go find your moon degree, and that lets you know what actual star constellation you from. Now, this has nothing to do with soul groups. You know what I'm saying? Like I said at the beginning, a soul group is just a soul group because you're not even what you are now, but you've been traveling. But you go into the vessel that your vibration is, that your frequency vibrating on. That's the vessel you go in. So if you came into here in a high vessel, that's because you was vibrating. Your frequencies was vibrating at a high level. So you was in high spaces. So when you came in this reality, you had to get filtered through a lot of shit just to descend down here. You see what I'm saying? Or ascend down here, because you could come from the. See, people get this misconception that you're on Earth when you look up, you're just looking up. No, Earth is all them stars that you're looking at. You be upside down sometimes. It's stars on the bottom and stars everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It just appear that you're standing straight up because you're on Earth. But a lot of times, I've been in locations and planets where, to me, y'all was standing upside down. You see what I'm saying? And I was standing right side up. Flight bus, bitch. Goddamn hair.